first off, we'll jump into our organizational chart. You can see that we have two main divisions in the department. The one on the left under Chief Paul Smith is the Fire Marshal's office, and then to the right is Chief Bennett, and I'll get more into that in the operations in a moment. But there are 3 shifts that we run, 24 on and 48 off, and you can see under the shift commanders there. You have a battalion chief, and captains and officers that answer directly to him, and the firefighters below at 3 stations. Up in the upper left is Administrative Secretary Tammy Renteria. She works at Fire Administration and does special projects and duties for at Fire Administration. Melissa is her primary duty is to input data, record management. Chief Morris here, he and I work hand in hand in several projects. He is my assistant, and he also manages our entire EMS programs. In the operations division, we have Operations Chief Bennett, and he oversees the 3 battalion chiefs. The interesting thing about these 3 battalion chiefs, you see the one on the right is Chief Clark. He just retired a couple of weeks ago, so we have a vacancy in that position now. We will be filling that most likely toward the end of this month. The other 2 battalion chiefs both have over 30 years, so it's something that, Chief Bennett's a rookie there, and he only has 20 years. We'll be seeing some more retirements in the future, which when a battalion chief retires, it affects everybody in the organization. Our firefighters average about 25 hours of fire training each month and 6 to 10 hours of EMS. We have 21 firefighters assigned per shift with a minimum staffing of 16 per day. Our deployment is 3 medics, 3 fire trucks, 1 command vehicle, and squad 55 when staffing allows. And that's about 50 to 55% of the time. We average 15 to 20 automatic mutual aid calls a month, meaning that we go to our surrounding communities. Primarily, we go to Bedford the most. That's who we work with most frequently, followed by Grapevine and Fort Worth, and then Hurst. And then we call those communities to come help us about 8 to 10 times a month. A little quick breakdown here. I gave almost 5 years of data. You can see what in the red, our total calls for service going back to 2010. We have increased a little bit each year. Our response times in the red on the far right-hand corner there have stayed pretty consistent. I was meeting with the city manager this morning, and we were talking about, and I mentioned this to you a couple months ago, in January and February with the winter that we had, it really affected our response times. This last month in April, we got back to where we're more comfortable with our times at a 5 minute and 27 second overall total response time. And when I say that to you, that's the moment that dispatch picks up the phone and says 911, what's your emergency, to the moment that we pull in front of that business or residence. That 1490 calls this year, one thing I want you to be aware of on that is we are on pace to run about 4,500 calls. We have jumped out and this year and had, as compared to month, our call volumes went up. I don't really have a reason for that, but it is on pace to exceed or at least get right to 4,500. One other thing that I want to mention to you, of the total calls that we were just discussing, 72% of those are emergency medical calls. That is what we run the most of, and the national average is about 65 to 70%. We're right in that area, and we're consistent with what our neighbors are running here in Northeast Tarrant County. A little breakdown of our community, and I guess if that's salmon or pink or whatever on the top, that's District 1. Below them is District 3 in green, and blue is District 2. The green, District 3, is our busiest district, followed by District 1 right on top of them. You've got Harwood separating District 1 and 3, and Industrial separating 2 and 3 there. And that's kind of how we're configured in the community with our districts. The Fire Marshal's Office, the Fire Prevention Division, they are primarily focused on fire prevention, enforcement, and investigations. Oh, one thing in there, second from the left there is Chief Smith. He is our fire marshal. Some of the duties are inspections, and that can be residential and commercial. When I say residential, though, I want you to be thinking of multifamily. We will do single-family dwellings, but only if we're asked to enter into that. Now, we have a pretty good multifamily inspection program. Last year, we inspected about 4,000 individual units, doing smoke detector and overall fire safety inspections. Plan review could be on new construction or expansion of existing construction or just changing occupancy. Public education is another area that we are very involved in the fire marshal's office, and that can be anything from open house, Arbor Days. I wrote some examples here, CFA, CERT, clown program, the kids summer camp, which I'll talk to you a little bit here in a moment, National Night. We are very involved, or we believe we are, in the community. Last year, we had 8,500 contacts from public education. The year before that, we actually had 10,000. So we average about 100 public education encounters a year in our community. Next thing is our fire investigations. Every fire that we encounter during the course of a year gets investigated, and the fire marshal's office is the lead agency on that. And we average somewhere around 35 to 40 per year. And of that, if you're interested from an arson standpoint, about 8 to 10 is on average what we see from them. Our Citizen Fire Academy Class 21 graduates tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the Library Community Room. We've got a graduate that will have in that class, graduating class tomorrow night. She's sitting right here to my left. They have been a very good group. The Euless Citizens Fire Academy Alumni Association State Dinner is this Saturday at Fire Station number 3 from 4 to 7:30. We've got my last numbers this afternoon. We're about 306 have paid to attend and come to the fire station and eat their state dinner, visit with the firefighters. Our Fire Department Kids Academy is coming up. We're already getting quite a bit of interest in that. That'll be June 23rd through the 27th. That goes from about 9 to 3 p.m. each day. And our Fire Academy alumni is a big part of that. We couldn't do it without them. And it was just very popular last year, and we're hoping for another good year, a good class this year. We've had a couple of retirements. I mentioned Chief Clark there with 32 years, and Rusty Kay also. He retired. They left about 2 weeks ago and started their retirement. Rusty had 30 years. And these two young men, Brandon Schrader and Anthony Crabb, just got sworn in about a month ago, and that is all I have, unless y'all have some questions.
Good, Paul.
Thank you.
Questions from the fire department?
We'll get to the agenda, we'll mention this again, but you saw Rusty Cage there that retired. Rusty will not be able to be here today. He was scheduled to receive a service pin.